What is that? I see and sense voodoo. And where could it be? In the woods. And this is Voodoo in the Woods with former UFC champion Payacinho Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus, and I am your noble
What's up,
subject,
y'all?
according to Woods.
That guy right there. That,
There,
that guy right
there,
there.
there. But my goodness, we're about to talk about some fights, and these fights were fucking phenomenal. I want to say this is
Yes.
arguably one of the best UFC cards this year. And
Okay.
again, that's saying a lot because they put on stellar cards. Not just UFC, like
Yes.
Bellator has had some bangers. The LFA,
hmm
I just got done watching the LFA from Friday night. Holy fucking
hmm
shit, that was crazy.
hmm
The main event. Um, so in a year that has, not kind of, it's thrown everybody in a loop. You know, fights are happening and fights are getting pretty fucking good. But I would say this 8 fight offering from the UFC was one of the best, whether they knew it or not. This is one where, in spite of themselves, they succeeded. So whether they knew it or not, that this was going to be a fucking, sleeper hit of the winter, fuck it, man. Kudos to them.
hmm hmm Yes, 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 indeed. What we are witnessing here is the birth and the rebirth of mixed martial arts. It keeps improving right before our eyes. It's like a flower that's coming to bloom, but it continuously coming to bloom. Every week, it's a new bloom. You know what I mean? And it's a new bloom and a new color. The same plant, yet new colors. Every week, it's a different color, and this is what's so beautiful about it. The reason being, these fighters understand where they're at. They understand that they're at the top of the mountain, and when you're at the top of the mountain, you have no choice but to perform, and they're doing so. And this is what's so great about the atmosphere of MMA today. And I am privileged to be witnessing it and to being a part of it in a small capacity.
Oh, you are a large capacity wherever you go. I mean, again, you bring championship gold. So I mean, my goodness, I mean, you fill a space like no other. I mean, you are essentially the king of Nokia Theater. So I'm just saying.
Hey man, it's been an awesome ride, man, and I couldn't be more honored. I mean, to be here with you, doing this this thing that we're doing, and talking about these great fighters. I mean, I'm just honored.
Well, the honor is mine. The honor is mine. So let's get into it. But before we get into the actual fight card, we are going to go through the canceled, or as they say, fizzled bouts that were originally supposed to be that take place. Obviously, 3 were actually taken off of the card literally hours before the card started. Right, so about noon Pacific Standard Time of fight day, we kind of figured out because the original start time was supposed to be 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it got moved to 5. So essentially, what we had, the original main event was supposed to be Jack the Joker Hermanson versus Darren Till, but Till basically got an injury. It was also supposed to be Cody Stamen versus Marab Davalishvili. That's what I'm going with. But Cody Stamen
Yeah.
withdrew, unfortunately. And then the only female fight that was originally supposed to be on the card was Vitalio Santos versus Maya Moroz, but Maya Moroz withdrew, right? Then literally, this was like
hmm
fucking phenomenal, right? Former LFA flyweight champion, the Brick Jimmy Flick versus Cody Durden. That withdrew because Cody Durden was trying to play sneaky pinky because he was trying to hide his pink eye from the commission. I don't know how he got it. A lot of people were probably thinking something that might have happened in the bedroom with a significant other of his, or I mean, uh, I can't literally see anybody with pink eye after I've watched the movie Knocked Up and not thought, hey, you just farted in each other's eye. That's what I thought. You know, so no disrespect to Cody Holland. I mean, Cody Durden, but yeah, I literally thought that I mean, obviously you're in the quarantine UFC bubble and everything, and shit gets weird. We saw with the gifted Gabe Green, he became like a videographer. Him and Maximilian Demian, during his UFC kind of quarantine, they were filming like a mock version of Cribs. So I mean, shit gets weird, right? So essentially, I thought Cody and the rest of his team were fighting in each other's eyes minutes or hours before fight time. So and until you prove me different, it's guilty until proven innocent. That's the Fijian way of doing things. Innocent until proven guilty. Back where my family's from, until proven, guilty until proven innocent. So you are guilty of farting into each other's eye sockets until you prove me wrong. Cody Durden and the crew. So there's that, right? And then we were supposed to, and then also we were supposed to have Jack Hermanson versus Kevin Holland, but Holland tested positive for COVID. Then we had Movsar Eliov, and he was supposed to get compete against Nate Landwehr, and Evloev tested positive for COVID, which is really crazy because they had a lot. A lot of promotional backing behind Movsar. I showed you video like earlier in the week that the UFC basically put out a nice sleek production YouTube video on ones to watch, and Movsar one of it. I mean, this dude is like a fucking like a snake. The way he moves and gets out of like dangerous submission. So I was ready to see him back in the cage, but unfortunately, COVID intervened, and it is what it is, as they say, right? And then we were supposed to have the Murab Dabalashvili, there we go, against Raoni Baceros, but Baceros basically got a medical suspension, and yeah, and then the what was supposed to be, because obviously Maya Moroz withdrew, so it was supposed to be Talia Santos versus Montana De La Rosa, but then Montana De La Rosa's cornerman tested positive for COVID. So that's how we got literally. It was supposed to be a 12-fight card, and we got down to 8. But damn, these 8 were fucking phenomenal. And we get it started off.
Yes.
Jake Collier against Gian Vellante.
Yes.
Guru, your thoughts?
Yes. Well, Jake Collier versus Gian Vellante. At first I was gonna come out with a negative outlook. You know what I mean? But then I thought about it, and then I thought to myself, wait a minute. You know what I mean? First of all, no matter what I think, these two individuals make their way to the UFC. That's one. Two, they are starting off this card, and actually they're doing things that I didn't really expect them to do as I'm watching the fight. So lots of shout out goes to, first of all, the prototype, Jake Collier, because what he was doing was what I was expecting from Gian Vellante, because Gian Vellante is the lighter dude. And it was Jake, the heavier guy, that was actually doing the things that I expected. He was moving his feet. He was throwing kicks, mid-range kicks. I mean, he tried some high kicks, but, not so great. But at least he tried. He tried the leg kicks. He tried everything. He tried spinning back fists. He did everything, man. And in the end, he outstruck Gian Vellante by a significant amount, 81 to 126. The man went there and he did his thing. Gian Vellante, I don't know. The last fight he was in, against Mr. Green. It didn't turn out too well, but this particular fight, at least we got to see his heart. You know, he's tough. He's tough. They both went out there and they banged it out. He was able to touch up Mr. Jake in the first round, but then Jake put it all together. Man, became a complete striker, and he threw hands, he threw elbows, he threw knees, he threw every single thing, and he was able to come out of there with a decision win. So shout outs to Jake Collier. You can tell he used to be a smaller man because he still fights in the ways of a smaller man, which is good for him. He's gonna need that in that heavyweight division. You know, it was a good match. At the end of it, it was a good match. I have nothing negative to say.
Yeah, and I mean, here's what we'll say: both John and Jake Collier were, when they began their mixed martial arts careers, they were in lighter weight classes. I believe John was at like light heavyweight for sure. He might have even been a middle or featherweight. But I mean, here's one thing that we definitely know about Jake Collier. Jake Collier, and they alluded to it on the commentary, was the fact that Jake Collier was the RFA champion. RFA, the precursor to what we now know as LFA. He was the, I think, maybe the welterweight champion, like the 165 champion in RFA, and he's fighting at heavyweight. Like, holy shit, my goodness, right? And then obviously Gian Vellante coming in with the pedigree of being ardent teammate and training partner of, you know, a former middleweight champion Chris Weidman, you know, so there's that. So, man, I couldn't have been more impressed with Collier. This is a big win for him. I don't know if John has a name so much as, again, Gian comes with great pedigree, right? So he beat, essentially, Jake Collier beat, I mean, Chris Weidman, Ray Longo, Matt Serra, all in one fight, like theoretically speaking,
Yeah,
right? As a
I
weird
agree.
little as a weird little tidbit, Jake hails from a place that I didn't even know existed before last night, but Cuba, Missouri. Like, that's where he's from. When I heard that, like, Cuba, Missouri, it was almost like chewing on tinfoil. Like, I was like, what? It was weird. Like, weird and spooky language. Get from here. Get from here. Yeah, so that was, and then one of my friends in a chat, he was like, actually, do you know there's a Cuban New Mexico? And I was just like, oh, my brain pretty much like started dribbling out the side of my ear. I was just like, I was crying out brain matter. It was just fried at that point. But I got it together for Video in the Woods. So there's that.
Oh man. Hey, you learn something new every day. I never knew there was a Cuba, Missouri as well. You know, it is what it is. But excellent work by Jake Collier nonetheless. He went out there and he put Cuba, Missouri on the map.
Which I don't think anybody could say but Jake Collier. So shout out to Jake Collier and Cuba, Missouri, and Cuba everywhere. Cuba, New Mexico,
That's
Cuba,
right.
Cuba. You know, so yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to them.
That's right.
But we go from that and we go up the card, down in weight. But fuck, this is amazing. Ilya Tapuria out of Georgia goes against Damon Jackson, stops him in the very, very first round. Fuck, man, this is, woo, buddy. This is crazy. I mean, it only lasted 2 minutes and 38 seconds, but this is probably 2 minutes and 38 seconds, the longest 2 minutes and 38 seconds of Damon Jackson's life. And fuck, man, like, woo. Your thoughts, Voodoo?
Hey, this fight was very simple. It was almost like like how do you call it? What's that guy's name? Jason Bourne. It was almost like they sent out
Oh
Jason
yeah,
Bourne, or should I say Ilya Ilya Tupuria, Jason Bourne, out on a mission to go and assassinate another character in Damon Jackson, because that's what he did. He went in there. He realized, okay, his whole team, I'm sure they all planned this out. They took one look at Damon Jackson. He's a taller fella, you know what I mean. And when taller fellas, when they make weight, obviously they're gonna be skin and bones, right? Ilya, being a shorter man, he's a little more stocky than Damon Jackson. So, very simple. When you're faced with someone who's got reach advantage, what do? You close the distance and you work the body, and which is what he did. And he did it beautifully. It was a masterful performance. He went in there, hooks, terrible hooks to the body, and he was able to hook and uppercut. That's what he was doing. Threes and fours, 5 and 6. You know what I mean? And one point, he threw a 6 and found that 3 right wide open to the liver. Boom! He delivered the liver shot. Damon Jackson took it really well. He tried to stand there, and it wasn't going to happen. So Mr. Ilya reached out again, sized him up with that 1, delivered the 2 cross. That was all she wrote, as he left him in a pile of his own carcass, out cold.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That is exactly it. I mean, theoretically speaking, I mean, it was almost like Ilya was letting the hyena succumb to basically dispatch the remnants of Damon Jackson. It was fucking nuts. And again, yes, there were some late shots because referee Mark Smith didn't get there in time, but again, it is that is some of the spoils of war, and I don't think too many people, crapped on Ilya's insistence to finish the fight, as they were on Mark Smith. But again, there's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I mean, he took some hard shots after he fucking shut down.
Well, the thing is, I actually saw nothing wrong with Ilya's performance, even at the end when he took those last few shots. Damon's eyes were open, it was open, and he was just trying to make sure that his opponent stayed down, even though he was out. It's hard when your adrenaline is at 1,000. You can't always think rationally. You know what I mean? So the man was in kill mode, and he was intending to kill his opponent until the referee came in there. The time that it took the referee to intervene, it was what it was. When you're in kill mode, things go, and the referee did what he had to do. He wasn't really late. It was just that Ilya was in kill mode, and when you're in kill mode, extra shots get in.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it any better myself. So, but I mean, fucking big win for Ilya, and man, if there, that would have been a knockout of the night, if not like what we would end up seeing in the rest of the card. Which again, I mean, we're almost like a quarter of the way there, just doing the first 2 fights. But, whoo, buddy, I mean, this could have been KO of the night. But also in fight number 3 in the 135-pound bantamweight division, we had Jose Alberto Quinones against the last samurai, Luis Smoka. And Luis, oh man, like, it wasn't looking good that first round. It didn't look good at all, right? But they come like that later part of that round, as well as the second. It was all the last samurai, all the way. He was live and in living color. But your thoughts?
Well, this particular matchup was very interesting. I could see Team Oyama's brain processing as I watched the match. Actually, as I watched it over, I went back and I watched it over, and I realized what was going on. So what was going on here was that ocean thing. It was that ocean thing in which you take your opponent and you take him into deep water. This is what happened. Luis Smoka, even though he was taking multiple shots in the first round, his intent was to get Jose to open up. And once he opened up, he dragged him. He dragged him into the ocean. Now start swimming
Mm-hmm.
with that intensity that you've got. So it didn't work out. Luis was able to secure the takedown in the first round, but he wasn't able to get the finish. Uh, uh, Jose Quinones looked phenomenal. Those calf kicks, beautiful. Those hands, beautiful. Movement, beautiful. Everything was great. Luis kept peppering them. Miss Smoka kept peppering them. Leg kicks here and there, here, a shot there. And then he acquired the takedown. Got the, I believe he had a dominant position. I can't remember which one. He had a dominant position. Then the bell rang. Then we came back to work. Secured another takedown immediately. As soon as he hit the ground, he went to full mount. And once he got into full mount, Mr. Jose Quinones was exposed. We could see clearly that his ground game wasn't even halfway of Mr. Smoka's, the last samurai. And once he put those hooks in, he didn't even go for the submission. He wanted to pound them out like bacon. He pounded them out like bacon, and then that was it. Referee said,
Yeah. And I mean, we'd be incredulous to say that. I mean, this was Team Oyama was 2-2. They went 2-0, I should say, right? Not 2-2, 2-0. I'm bad with numbers, good with words, kind of. But we had not only Lewis win on Saturday night, but on Friday night, Lisa Molden out of Team Oyama also won
yeah.
by decision in an impressive performance. So shout out to Team Oyama and both Lisa and Lewis in their respective victories.
Most definitely. I mean, the lady was quite impressive. I saw her fight too. She was quite impressive. I mean, when you get, especially in RFA, when you get to the peak like that in RFA, you're not always going to get a finish because everyone at that peak got their own sword. You know what I mean? Weapons are even. There is no advantage, and you have to dig deep to find what you're looking for, and that's victory, which is bringing the best out of all these RFA competitors. You know, so when we have dominant fighters meeting each other in the cage, this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a great show. And RFA pulled another one off yesterday on Friday.
Yep, I mean LFA is that is the feeder system to the UFC, even more so now in COVID than any time ever before. I mean, obviously there were multiple kind of I guess arteries to the UFC, whether it be here in California, Tachi Palace, King of the Cage, Lights Out Extreme Fighting, and its predecessor, CXF, which you are a veteran of. But then, there's obviously there's equivalents in Florida, Georgia, like everywhere, and LFA down there in Brazil. And LFA, because of Ed Suarez's contacts, are able to kind of bring everybody up. And I mean, in terms of the success rate of fighters that getting into the UFC, it's like, I mean, close to 3 dozen, people that have been on LFA cards, both either headlining or on the undercard, right? Literally close to 30, if not 30 already, north of 30, just in this year, just since July, have gone to the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, my goodness.
Yes.
I mean,
every Friday I see LFA. All those fighters that are fighting the next day in the UFC, they always give them a shout out. Their RFA, LFA photograph. They always put them all on the same collage and post that. So I always get to see who's coming from where. And they're never short of excellence. When they get there, they're always performing. Even in losses, they're performing. So LFA, man, keep up the good work.
No, 1,000%. Now, I mean, obviously, it's great that we're speaking the praises of LFA, because one of the people that mentioned was none other than the Monkey King, Jordan Levitt, right? And Jordan Levitt had a phenomenal LFA debut. Well, not debut, but a fight in LFA. Fought on the Contender Series not too long after, and then basically is made his formal UFC debut last night. And damn it, whoo! And this is crazy because earlier yesterday, I had none other than the malicious Mike Reyes, Combate veteran, friend to both Voodoo and I. But he and his fiance in the chat, Alexandra Vallejo, basically were talking about a slam KO and how much they love suplexes. And wouldn't you know who won the fucking pony? But we saw a slam KO in this fight with Jordan Levitt. And it only took 22 seconds, 22 seconds to get it done. So, Voodoo, what did you think about this, especially being a proud pupil of Peterson grappling under the great Brian Peterson? What did you think about this KO?
Well, the KO was excellent. It was the right thing for that moment. You know what I mean? The Jordan did exactly what he was supposed to do. When someone gives you a terrible slam like that on the silver platter, you cannot be rude. You have to take it. You have to take it. You know what I mean? It's like green eggs and ham. I do love green eggs and ham. Slam your head into oblivion. I do love to slam your head into oblivion if you allow me. Mr. Weeman or Wyman, however you say it, the man made a terrible choice. Being a veteran of the sport for this long, and you pull guard, the man walked you from one end of the cage to the other end of the cage. He gave you a lot of time to decide what it is that you're going to do next. And what you chose to do was hold on, keep your hands busy by keeping them clamped up, wrap your leg around this man that's carrying you around across the cage, and stay there for the ride. This is what you decide to do. And what did you expect? What did you expect? Did you didn't see the end result to that? You know what I mean? It's kind of like a few weeks ago when the young man held the leg too long, and then he became a meme when he took that jumping back kick to the face. You don't hold the leg for too long. In this case, you want to pull guard, you want to jujitsu in MMA. That's fine if you want to jujitsu. Just understand, a man's wrestling pedigree is gonna kick in and slam you on your scully as a result of what happens. And this is what happened to the man. 20 seconds into the match, he was out cold and he was out for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, these are all facts, all facts. But my goodness, man, I sent Voodoo a couple of videos that the UFC had produced leading up to this fight, and I really became so enthralled by Jordan Levitt because I mean he's a little bit strange. He's a person of color. Guess what? Me too. Me too. Right? Like and a fourth generation Las Vegan. I didn't even know that exists, but 4 generations of his family in Las Vegas. He's raising, he and his wife, they are expecting a child, and this is actually the recipient of the first $50,000 fight bonus of the night, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy, somebody whose family wanted him to go into, be a lawyer, and that's still an option for him. But he loves to fight. He loves to fight, and he is one of the most unorthodox characters that they are. But literally, 26 seconds netted him an upward of $50,000. That was just the bonus. We're not even going into his fight purse, which probably wouldn't have been too much more, maybe about 3 to 5, maybe another 10 Gs at best. But again, for 26 seconds work in the octagon, he gets upwards of $50,000. So shout out to Gordon Levitt. And I mean, this is a memorable post of memorable KOs in a card full of memorable KOs.
Now let's take a time out real quick and let's analyze this Jordan Levitt. Let's analyze him, the Monkey King, real quick. First of all, the man, does he go in there and he perform in the cage? Yes. Now, when he gets on the mic, does he perform? Yes. Is a man building his platform? Yes. Is there anything else a man could be doing right now? Probably not. The man's winning. The man's utilizing his time on the mic appropriately. And the man's building his brand. What else do you want from the man? He's doing everything right. Until you beat him, he's on the right path. You know what I mean? He's on the right path. Take notes. Take notes, fighters. This man understands the game of MMA. He is a character. I guarantee you, when he's done and he's away from the cameras, he's a different human being. He might have fun. But he understands that when you are in front of the camera, you have to entertain your audience. And that time of my life, what do you call that? This is what the man did. He's trying to plant a seed. You might not remember his name as Jordan Leavitt, but you will. And remember that guy that did the dance? Yeah, you'll be able to find it. All you gotta do is the guy, type it on Google or whatever on YouTube, the guy that did and he will pop up and you will remember his name from that. So the man is doing everything right. He's winning. He's entertaining. And what else do you want? He's building his brand to go along. So, Jordan, keep up the good work.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work that is, and I followed him on Twitter. And it's crazy because it's still like at the 2,300 mark. I mean, I would think he would be in the 10,000s, but your guys' loss. I'm following him. You guys should too. Because he's fun to watch. And again, I don't think he's doing anything different from the camera. The Rock, the Stone Cold, even the Undertaker, right? They are them just jumped up to fucking 10, right? And I think that's Jordan Leavitt. But you were saying.
Exactly. And one more thing. After he exited the cage, he made his way to the man's wife, Matt Weeman's wife, and he showed some respect. You know what I mean? They hugged, and it's all good. It's all in the name of the sport. So he's also got a heart. We got to keep this. You know what I mean? We got to remember this as well. The man will do damage when he has to, but then when he has to show respect, he does that as well. So he's a complete human being. He's a complete human being that does combat for a living. You know what I mean? So this is awesome. He's a very nice guy, and I look forward to seeing more of him.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, man. Shout out to Jordan Leavitt on this, the Monkey King, in his fantastic victory. Which it was a big ass night for the Jungle Book because we had the Monkey King here, and then we would have Mowgli a little bit higher on the card. So it like UFC Vegas 16 was Jungle Book as fuck. It was absolutely so. Shout out to that. Now, one thing that I didn't know that I was going to see was a grappling fucking clinic between Georgia's Roman Dolidze and John Allen. Holy fuck, man. 205 light heavyweights, and they're big, bulky heavyweights, right? I mean, obviously, Georgia, my goodness. I mean, Roman was like a Roman gladiator, like a Georgian gladiator. So to it, a berserker from Brazil, John Allen. I mean, these two were physically just put together, and what they did was, I think, a love letter, whether they knew it or not, to the grappling prowess in high-level combat sports.
It was a beautiful match from beginning to end. Roman came in there, he's undefeated. He came in there with a high nose, aristocratish nose, up in the air. I am going to beat this guy. Asking his coach, hey, you think I should submit him right now? In the first round, like a minute into the match, you think I should submit him? And to his credit, he almost pulled off the heel hook. Almost ripped that knee off. I believe might have damaged John Allen a little bit to the knee, because there are times that I saw him, move a little ginger. But The man is from Brazil. He is from Shootbox Academy, and you know how those guys roll. We already told you guys about those dudes last Thursday. The Shootbox Academy folks don't play. Anderson Silva, Chris Cyborg. I think Amanda Nunes might have come through there as well.
Might have.
The Axe Murderer.
Anderson Silva.
Ninja Hua. So many people that have, you know what I mean, that have come from Shootbox, and now we've got John Allen. John Allen turned out to be quite the striker. In the beginning, Roman thought he was just gonna impose his will and do whatever he felt like doing, and realized John Allen is not here to lay down to anybody. He's not here to bow down to nobody. He's not anyone's stepping stone, and he wasn't. Even in defeat, he was not a stepping stone, because he made Roman earn every turn of that W. He made him earn every turn of that W on the way to 50 minutes of fighting. And I actually believe if the fight was 25 minutes, I see John Allen winning this fight. John Allen was beautiful, superb striking. Head,
Beautiful
punches,
point.
I mean, everything was on point. Everything was on point. The only thing that I would give Roman was the takedown. He was good with the takedowns. He was able to acquire lots of takedowns and maintain top control. John Allen is working on improving this, I'm sure. I believe John Allen must have come from kickboxing. The way he fought, he was a masterful striker. The leg kicks, calf kick, the medium stomach kicks, attempts to the liver, everything was beautiful. He was able to fight a regular and southpaw. You know, he was changing his stances in and out to meet the demand of the fight. The man is an excellent striker. He's not a complete fighter yet, but his ground game is decent enough to get in there with the likes of Roman and hold his own on the ground and get back up a lot of the times. So John Allen is here to stay. Roman might have gotten a W, but John Allen won the war. I believe John Allen's stock rose performance-wise. His stock rose because he was able to gather up lots of data, not just data, but lots of highlight against an undefeated fighter. The way he performed, beautiful. Even with the injury, I know for a fact that he was injured, because the way Roman was trying to rip his ankle off or his knee off, you know, at the heel, he's got to have some kind of injury due to that. But we couldn't tell.
He walked off like
tell.
to his corner. It was like, it was bad.
Yeah, but it didn't stop his performance.
No, not at all.
He maintained high performance the entire time. It just so happens that the other fella, Roman, was a better wrestler.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know, so Roman, a better wrestler. You obviously are not talking about Roman Reigns, but I digress.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely not.
Yes. But, I mean, here we go. Again, we talked about Jordan Levitt, the Monkey King, you know, with his impressive slam KO, right? And then we had Mowgli, Gabriel Benitez, stop Justin James with a fucking stellar knee to the body. And again, between these two, this shit was Jungle Book as fuck, man. The Mowgli KOs Justin James. Your thoughts on this? This only went, 4 minutes and 6 seconds of the very first round. So, what say you?
It was a beautiful. Like I've got to quote. What's his name? Beautiful Destruction. What's this guy's name?
I was gonna say 311's Beautiful Disaster.
I forget his name right now. No. There's a fighter that. Oh, he trains with TJ and them. He trains with TJ, Archuleta. He's got palm trees right here. No,
Cub Swanson.
Palm trees tattooed right here.
Cub Swanson
from LA. Cub Swanson. Cub Swanson. Yeah. Like Cub Swanson would say, beautiful destruction. That's what Gabriel Benitez. He went out there first, as you're supposed to. As you're supposed to. Being the taller man, being a longer man, having all the reach advantage, he established his hands right away. The jabs were on point. The jabs were on point. The 1-2s were on point. Stay back. And then the calf kick started. He established this. Once he saw that, okay, he's getting used to this, calf kick started coming. You know what I mean? Do. Bam. You stun him. Left kick, right kick. He was excellent striking. Excellent. The boxing was just so clear. His hands were on point. His boxing was a lot better than Double J's. Clearly better than Double J's. And he knew he had the advantage, and he made it clear off the jump. Right? So now that the calf kicks are coming in, the hands are coming. And then towards the end of the third, I believe, he threw his first knee that didn't land. The first knee didn't land. I was like, oh, look, he upped it another. So the man went from a boxer to an American kickboxer. And then all of a sudden, he went from being Mexican to straight Thai. He turned Thai on us right before our very eyes. You know what I'm saying? He turned Thai on us. You know what I mean? And then just like that, I almost called him Tony Jaa for a second. Just like that, he turned into Tony Jaa. And hands to knee. The first knee missed, but then on the second one that he threw, it was right on point. Hit the man between the liver and a solar plex. I don't think it was solar plex. It wasn't in the front. I believe it was more liver, right? Because of the way Justin was turned. Justin had thrown a shot. I believe it was a 2, exposing. He exposed all this, and he hit him in this region right here. And I believe that was more liver than anything, because as soon as he was hit, you could tell something was different. And then Gabriel Benitez went in there for the kill. He got another win. You know, I would love to see Benitez turn around right away. Put the man back in the cage immediately. If he can fight December 19th, I would love to see him fight December 19th. The man's not injured. The man's in shape already. Give him a match. Immediately turn him around. These are the kind of guys you want to turn around right away. Immediately, the man must get back in that cage and continue the destruction that he started. Beautiful display, man. Beautiful destruction. And Justin Janus, it's not somebody you just walk through. You know what I mean? It's just the striking IQ of Gabriel Benitez was 3 and 4 levels ahead of Justin. Period. It's a fact. As you can see, he put the man out before the first round was over.
Yeah, no, 100%. Which, whoo, buddy, this one also is a recipient of that $50,000 bonus. So again, you know, another $50,000 to his name, especially around the holidays, is not bad. And especially if you can turn it around come literally the end of the month. You know, we've got a UFC 17 card pretty soon after this. So if not next week, let me see. UFC 256 is 6 days from now. So then there's there's essentially a fight night happening right after that. Yep. Literally 2 weeks. Yeah. Well, the pay-per-view is next week, and the week after that, we get another fight night. So that, you're absolutely right.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Hey, man, 19th. Either one, man. I want to see this guy now. I want to see him again now. Now, he's ready. Well, he's not ready for the top 15. But any up-and-comer, we have to establish this guy as the guy amongst the up-and-comers. You know what I'm saying? Once we establish that, then boom, we bump him and we give him a top 15. But right now, he's looking great. Everything's on point. He also mentioned that he lost his boxing coach. He was a little emotional about it, and I was able to take notice of that. I like the fact that he gave it up to his boxing coach. He said if his boxing coach was still around, I would have never been touched. You know what I mean? Give it up to him. To the level of skill that his boxing coach had. He helped us feel that. You know what I mean? Now he has a new coach, but he still has to give a shout out to the one that got him to the game, which is his deceased boxing coach. So shout out to his deceased boxing coach. Shout out to Gabriel Benitez. Keep representing from Mexico City and keep it up, man. Let's go.
Let's go, man. So yeah, big win for Gabriel Benitez. Love it, love it. Want some more of it. So yeah, this is it. This is it. But what this is we have come to the co-main event of the evening, as we have former UFC interim champion and title contender Ovince St. Pierre, OSP, taking on Jamal Hill. And damn Jamal Hill. Woo! It's crazy, right? Because it wasn't that long ago that we were kind of edging out OSP as the future of the division. And damn it, it's just like he got stuck between a rock and a hard place because, I mean, he's sandwiched in from the past and then the future, right? And the future is one, Mr. Jamal Hill. That's the future. And he saw it right in the face and, whew, shit me. What are your thoughts?
Now, let's think about this for a second. Imagine this Jamal Hill. Imagine you can take him and drop him in with, for example, the AKA team, or you take him and you drop him with the New Mexico team, Jackson Winkle Jackson, whatever. Imagine you drop him in there with those tip top coaching pedigree. Oh my, the man right now is a diamond in the rough. I'm watching the way he was fighting. He understands what to do, right? He gets it, but he's just all pure skill right now. The IQ is not even there yet, but he's displaying awesome excellence like he is already. You know what I mean? Jamal Hill strikes me as one of those dudes that we stole from the draft. When I say the draft, the football draft or the basketball draft, or you know what I mean? He looks like one of those athletes that would have gone the other way. Now he's here. You know what I mean? And I'm so glad. I hope we can get more athletes like Jamal just to raise the level of competition. I mean, Jamal, he's new to this. He's new to this game. He's in there fighting people that he idolized. You know what I mean? Ovince St. Preux, Ovince St. Preux's been in the game for a minute, but not as long as John Jones. Not as long as some of these. You know what I mean? Like he's already in there with people he idolizes. That's how good Jamal is, and he hasn't even been around the best of coaching yet. He's on his way though. He's on. Actually, I wouldn't even say that he hasn't been around the best of coaching yet, but I do know that he's not with Jackson Wick, and he's not with AKA, and he's not with some of the big name coaching staff. He's not with those guys. He is with the people that he's with, and they're doing a fantastic job with him, by the way. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying how much more would he be doing if he was with, like, say, for example, Jackson Wick or with DC and those guys. You know what I mean? Or the folks in Florida. Imagine, man. Imagine. The man came to fight yesterday. He established his hands, the hand speed. Wow. The hand speed, the understanding of distance and reach, right? The fact that every time Ovince St. Preux threw something, he answered with a combination, excuse me. Mm-hmm. Every time Ovince St. Preux threw one shot, he answered with 4 shots. And this is what he brought to the table against Ovince St. Preux. His corner studied Ovince St. Preux, and Ovince St. Preux is a dynamic striker. But Vincent Proof reminds me of a king on a chessboard. He can do everything, but he can only do it one move at a time. And this is what I noticed about Vincent Proof's fight against Jamal Hill yesterday. Jamal Hill was a queen on the board. You know what I mean? He can move diagonal as many spaces. He can move left, right. He could become a bishop. He could become a rook. He could become a knight and move and he is not even a master yet. He's already doing all these and he's not a master yet. The man's got kicks. He's got kicks. He didn't even kick enough to my satisfaction and he still looked flawless. He went in there against a dynamic striker in Vincent Proof who moves like a king on the chessboard, one move at a time. Whatever he threw was great, but he threw just one. I don't think Vincent Proof can now put together a combination game, and at this time in his career, I think he's done. Vincent Proof is a great striker. Don't get me wrong. He threw some beautiful side kicks. He threw some excellent front kicks. He did everything you're supposed to do against a dynamic striker like Jamal Hill. He kept them back. But then if you're throwing one strike against a dude like this that's willing to throw 4 and 5 strikes back at you, eventually your beautiful side kicks get overwhelmed. Your beautiful front kicks get overwhelmed. Your beautiful one-hit counter becomes overwhelmed. And that's what happened. Eventually, Jamal started touching him up. He started touching him one too many times. You know what I mean? From a 4-hit combo, he would hit him once. Then he started hitting him twice. And then he started hitting him 4 times. And then once he started hitting him 4 times, then we knew it was all over with, man. He was able to piece up Vincent Proof in the first round. But Vincent Proof was he's a veteran. He was able to regroup, come back. But the only thing that he didn't change was string together combination. You know what I mean? And because he wasn't able to level up, he got tired in the second half. And then Jamal was like, oh, you look tired. Oh, okay, take this. And then he just let loose on him, put him on the fence. And the referee had to come in there and save him.
Yeah, man. Oof. And it was even the crazy thing about it is like OSP was out on his feet. Like he didn't go down in theory like you would imagine a highlight reel knockout would be. He stayed on his feet, but I don't know. You know, it's like the great Chick Hearn says, the lights are on, but nobody's home. That was essentially what happened with OSP. Like, I mean, and Jamal Hill was literally sending him to a one-way ticket to sweet dreamland. But I mean, I don't know. It was just maybe it's muscle memory or whatever. You know, some people when they die, their eyes, you know, the eyelids don't close and everything. And I think that's essentially what happened because, oof, yeah.
Jamal Hill sent him on a one-way trip to the Shadow Realm.
Yes. Yeah, so the Shadow Realm it is. The Shadow Realm it is. And I really got to put in the Wikipedia machine what the fuck that is a reference to, as I feel old as fuck.
Hey, that's Yu-Gi-Oh, man. That's Yu-Gi-Oh. That's from Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay. Black Magician.
The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. I kicked my leg out of your leg. I am the total package. I don't fuck all. Oh, for wrestling. It really. That's my wife. I don't fuck all about anything else. You know, so. Now,
oh my goodness.
Current events of the evening. As we had the number 4th ranked, what great class is this? Holy crap! The 4th ranked 185
Middleweight.
pound middleweight. That would be it. Thank you for that. Jack the Joker Hermanson against Italy's Marvin Vittori. And both men have, it's crazy. You know, they have every bit the international feel, but also basically taking up the reins here in the States and taking up their training. But damn. The Joker Jack Hermanson took a big risk because going into this fight, he was ranked number fourth in the world. He was in the top five in his particular division, and Battori was in the top 15, but nowhere near the top 10. He was number 12. Well, I guess it would be close to the top 10, two away from the top 10, but I digress. So Marvin Vittori and Jack Manson, they put on a barn burner. I mean, if this was the co-main event, I don't know what the fuck, would have followed that. Like that was, whew, like that. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Both, right up until Vittori, started to turn on the gas, um, which he hasn't been historically able to do. He usually wilts out come the latter rounds. He does what he does in the first two rounds, but anytime that he's win on a 3+ round fight, he tends to wilt. But wilt he didn't this time
Yeah.
because he
Hmm.
dispatched Jack Hansen.
Hmm. Well, uh, Jack Hermanson, I felt that he was trying to prove something to himself. If you remember, on Thursday we talked about when he gets hit hard, he tends to start to fold, and you know what I mean. So in this
Yep.
particular matchup against Marvin, yeah, he brought the fight to him. You know what I mean. He stood longer than he should have. Um he didn't mix his MMA as he should have against a Marvin Victor. He stood with Martin too long. He stood with Martin too long, and Martin got to touch him a little bit too much. Um, if your bread and butter is your grappling and submission, you should invest more of that into the fight. I think when he was striking too much. He didn't mix it like Rafael dos Anjos would. Rafael dos Anjos, he's a very good striker, but he'll take you down in a heartbeat. And you know what I mean? Jack Hermanson, I think this is still missing in his game. It seemed to me like he was trying to let people know that he's got a striking game. You don't need to let anyone know nothing. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, he tried to let everyone know he's got a striking game against Marvin Vittori of King's MMA. And them dudes from King's MMA and Rafael Cordero, you know how they get down, man. All they do is, Mike Tyson's from King MMA, for Christ's sakes. Mike
Yes.
Tyson's from King's MMA. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson wouldn't beat King's MMA if they weren't good strikers, or if Rafael wasn't good at what he does, and that's striking. So there you go. So Marvin went there and displayed beautiful destruction, like Cub Swanson would say. It was beautiful. By the time Jack Hermanson started to initiate his ground game, Marvin was already on point. He was already firing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? His takedown defense was on point. And then we talked on Thursday. If Marvin was going to shine really well, he's got to shine on his feet. So he was able to defend a lot of those takedowns, keep the fight standing on his feet, and piece up his opponent, Jack Hermanson. Something terrible. To Jack's credit, he was able to prove that he is no chump, that he does have a striking game, but then at what cost? At what cost? You don't have to impress anyone, Mr. Jack Hermanson. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, Mr. Jack Hermanson. Just go out there and mix up your MMA in such a way that your opponent is at a disadvantage. But I'm sure he's going to learn from this. Jack Hermanson is still a top five uh, a competitor. He's still top five best in the world. However, if he's going to break the top three, he must learn to mix it up real good. Keep your opponent's skill that they're best at off the table. Keep them off the table. You know what I'm saying? Keep those best pieces off the table and utilize your best pieces against them. He's gonna learn from this. I mean, wasn't this fight of the night? This was fight of the night,
This
right?
was fight of the night. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is the last recipient of that 50,000.
Yes, and not to say that Jack Hermanson was dominated. He wasn't really dominated. As you
No.
can see, the fight was such that both fighters got $50,000 extra. However, when you get to this level as a top fiver or top six or whatever, room for error is very little. Room for error is very little. That determines who wins and who loses. As you can see, he wasn't knocked out. I mean, he was beat up. I mean,
No.
his opponent was beat up too. But Hermanson needs a tiny bit more in the IQ area, and then he'll be dispatching of Marvin Vittori. No problem. It's his problem. It's not his problem. Is not weapons. Clearly, we know he can strike. He made that clear. Now, how you mix it up in a pot and cook it. This is what's left.
Yeah, I mean, damn, but he took a hell of a risk. Again, number 4 versus number 12, which Hermanson is. Yeah, I want to see how they play that in the rankings because as Vittori, you can't jump all the way to number 4 and not consider the other, 8 to 9 people before you. But even still, this is a big win for Vittori. So we will see what happens here. But what has happened is we've covered the whole card. But before we go, we got 2 pieces of business, right? So the first one being, soon after our Thursday show, we found out that the former UFC interim champion, Joel, the Soldier of God, Nilfer had been released from the UFC after a 7-year tenure that netted him a interim championship gold. Now, I want to ask you, Voodoo, because it was clear that he wanted to continue his career. Where do you think we'll see the Soldier of God come the next time he steps into a cage?
Well, the great thing about the Soldier of God is this. He's very marketable. The man speaks 5% English, but yet it's as good as 100% English. So he's got 2 things. He's got mic skills. I love you. I love you, Mike.
I love you.
Hey,
I love you, Mike.
My kids know him basically because of that. I love you, Mike. That's why my kids know him. They know, oh, that's I love you, Mike, right there. You know what I mean? So the man is marketable. The man is marketable. He's a specimen. Even at 44 years old, he's a specimen. He can go to Bellator and perform and be at the. I mean, the only threat that I will see, the only threat for him that I will see is Mousasi, the champion.
Yes.
Outside of 100%. Mousasi, I see no other threat. Now let's go to light heavyweight. That Russian, bad mofo, man. The one that beat the former double champ at heavyweight and light heavyweight. The wrestler.
Oh, Ryan Bader,
yeah. The guy that beat Bader. I can't remember his name. The Russian dude. That guy's formidable at 205. You know what I mean? So either way, Yoel is going to have a tough time in Bellator if he wants to be champion. And then we go to ONE FC. ONE FC is a big market that can pay for him. And it will pay for him if he goes down there. And he will bring a new dynamic to the table. He brings a new dynamic to the table. He's extremely explosive. You know what I mean? He's fun to watch. Unfortunately, he had 4 opportunities at the title when he was at the UFC. I mean, what else do you want? What do you want? And the man, you know what I mean? The man is 44 years old. Even though he's still physically 25, physically. But, he's holding up somebody's seat. I mean, he's holding up somebody's seat. I like him. I like him. I even follow him on Instagram because he's so entertaining. I love to hear him speak, even though it's not the best English in the world. I still love to hear him speak. He commands attention. So this is great. He can still fight. Is pretty much all I'm trying to say. He can go anywhere and he can still fight. There's a good chance we might see him at ONE FC though.
One that you didn't mention that's thrown around $1 million is PFL.
PFL, that's right. PFL,
Yeah.
that's true. That's true. But see,
Yeah.
the thing about him is he's such a big individual. The biggest platform is where I mean, didn't he just win like $27 million that he might not get paid
Yeah.
for? I
Yeah.
don't think money's his problem. I don't think money. Yeah. I don't think money's his
Yeah.
problem. You know what I mean? To go to PFL, it's got to be about the money. It's got to be about the money to go to PFL, right? But money is not his problem. I think you'll benefit more from exposure. So we're looking at Bellator and worst case scenario ONE FC. PFL, they are on ESPN Plus, but how many views are they getting? I'm not 100%. I'm not 100%. Are
Here's
they
the
getting a lot
thing.
of views?
So they've got Kayla Hansen, they've got Jeeves Edwards, Baz Rutten, and I mean their commentary team is amazing. And then obviously they just inked Clarissa Shields, a multiple time boxing champion. So
That's true. That's true.
Yes. So
yeah.
I'm just
that's gonna bring new eyes.
Yes. So I mean that's a legit. That's good.
I have a question. What did you say that lady's name was? The lady that they have?
Clarissa Shields?
That judo lady?
No, Kay Hansen.
Hansen.
Kay Hansen.
What do you think about Hansen? You think she can survive against the top 5 in the UFC?
I don't know. It remains to be seen because there's Kay Hansen. There's a bunch of them that are like pretty high. I'm sorry, I confused it. Kay Hansen is in the UFC. It's Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison is
that one. That's the one. Yes. Yeah. We're talking about the same person. It's okay. We're still talking about the same person.
Kayla Harrison.
Now, Kayla Harrison. I watched her fight. Was it Bellator? She fought. She was on loan from either RFLA or Bellator. One of the two. She was on loan to fight there, and she made the other girl bleed, but the other girl. Well, yeah. Invicta. That's what it was. It was Invicta. That's right. You're right. And I was not impressed by her performance at all. At all. She's not ready. She's not ready for Amanda Nunes. She's not even ready for the lighter the Russian lady that just won last week. She's not ready for lighter Shevchenko either. Those two will annihilate her easy. She's got good grappling or judo, but I don't think it's gonna translate at the highest level. At the highest level, nah. She ain't got it, man. I don't think so. First of all, she's very slow. Her hand speed, no hands. But if she clinches you and she puts you on the fence, then you're dead, right? But then what if you can't clinch? Remember what happened to Ronda? She couldn't clinch. You know what I mean? Yep. People understood. Okay, clinch. All I gotta do is stay out of the clinch. Holly Holmes stayed out of the clinch, and then what happened after that? Head kick knockout. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then she tried the same thing with Amanda Nunes. Push off, piece up. Push off, piece up. And then before you know it, she was sleeping. I think she fell asleep like this when Amanda beat her. You know what I mean? She got finished in the crucifix, and it wasn't even a submission.
That was Soundgarden as fuck. It was Jesus Christ pose. That's what she fell into. She was Jesus Christ pose.
Man, so going back to Harrison, she's got a lot of work to do, man. If she's thinking about stepping up to Bellator, I don't even think she could step to the 145 champion Bellator. I don't think she's ready. I don't think she's ready.
No.
The person she fought was not even I don't know. I've never heard of her. But then the performance was just, yeah, you make the girl bleed. You know what I mean? You hit her with a cut her with an elbow. But even that girl gave her a fight. And that girl's a no name. I wouldn't call her a nobody, but she's a no name. And a no name gave you that kind of fight. What's a named person gonna do to you then? With all that judo you got. You know what I mean? This is MMA now. You know what I mean? And I'm also happy that Mrs. Shields, Clarissa Shields, has elected to join the force of mixed martial arts. That's fantastic.
Yep.
I like that idea. But then she made an awesome decision by joining Jackson Wicklejohn. You know what I mean? And she
Yeah.
figured, if I'm gonna step into this dangerous realm, this shadow realm, I might as well go hang with Yu-Gi-Oh and them, who are champions of the shadow realm. So she's doing it. She's training with John Jones. She's training with the Jackson folks. You know what I mean? She's learning to kick. I'm seeing videos of her kicking. You know what I mean? Once they teach her how to kick here and there and defend against the takedown, her gun game doesn't have to be great right now. She can fight. She's got enough hands. Her hands outstrikes 100% of everyone in MMA. Her hands alone outstrikes 100% of everyone in MMA, right? In female MMA. Hands. But then when her feet catches up, then she becomes more of a balanced fighter. So all she has to do right now is focus on linking hand to feet. She can link hand to feet. She's going to knock out a whole lot of folks. And understand, she's wearing 4-ounce gloves now. She's used to wearing 12 to train, 10 to fight. Now you taking what? You taking 6 more ounces off? So what? She's gonna be knocking a whole lot of folks out. All she has to do right now is work on the takedown defense, and the jiu-jitsu will come later.
Well, I actually just looked at Kayla Harrison's Instagram page. She's down in South
Mm-hmm.
Florida. She's ATT. So speaking of like,
ATT?
I mean, her and Mike Brown are pretty chummy, and we're talking obviously. Yeah, I mean, she's at ATT. I mean, Mike Brown was under her corner for her last PFL fight, which was not. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, right? We're talking. Well, no, they're donning the shirts of PFL as they went into Invicta, but that was November 20th. That was within the last month, right? So she's firmly there, and she's playing. So you got to imagine she's getting rounds with Amanda Nunes. She's getting rounds with Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? Like, and all of the top level ladies that they have there. So I'm just saying I wouldn't cut Kayla out, but I think I mean she already had.
I'm counting her out. I'm
Okay.
counting her out.
Okay.
I'm counting her out. Hey man, I'm not impressed at all. I'm counting her out. I'm not impressed. Show me more. Show me more. I mean, your wrestling is great. Your what do you call it? Your judo is fantastic. You know what I mean? She takes people down at will. You know what I mean? But I'm not impressed with your striking. Your striking is non-existent in my book. Non-existent. She has no striking. Imagine the next fighter that stays on their feet. Imagine what happens to her. I see broken noses and all that kind of stuff. Not impressed yet. Lots of work to be done. I mean, does her greatest skill does it keep her in PFL at the highest level? Yes, it does. Would it keep her in the lower half of Invicta? Yes, it does. Lower half of Invicta. You know what I mean? Lower half, not the top 10. She don't want to see nobody in the top 10 right now. Not good enough. Not good
No,
enough. So
no,
stay
no,
down
no.
there.
Oh.
Stay down. Keep getting rounds in hiding with Amanda Nunes and the other folks in hiding. You know what I mean? Keep getting rounds. Keep getting better. That's a
I
smart thing to
mean,
do. But then
I'm not.
she ain't ready.
I'm not at all saying that she's a world beater. Not at all. Not saying that one iota. And again, I think Ronda didn't have the benefit of having Ronda, right? Kayla has the benefit of seeing what happened to Ronda
True.
and learning from that. Because again, you were just talking about what's his face, Jamal, right? Jamal in the co-main event, right? And the thing about it is Jamal. You were talking about getting in a right camp, right? A Jackson Wink, ATT. Well, Kayla Harrison is at ATT, so she knows that there's holes in the game, and she's getting herself, top training by the trainers of none other than the athlete that currently holds two simultaneous championships in the UFC in Amanda Nunes. So I know she knows
Okay.
that her inefficiencies, and I think she's proven that. And imagine
Okay.
she has the Ronda reference to kind of go by, and then also the fact that she knows that hey, Amanda is you're sitting under the learning tree about Amanda, and Amanda's like wife is still one of the best in that division as well. So it's crazy, who she has to take from. So kudos.
True.
Like I said, I'm not saying that she goes to the top 10 in Bellator or whatever, and I think it was good, especially
Mhm.
if lending her out to Invicta, right? Because that's essentially where everybody goes. I mean, the current UFC, women's division is essentially Invicta's women's division of any given title range 2 years ago. So it's smart to do that, and
Mhm.
especially at a time where PFL has suspended their season, to have one of your champions kind of venture
Mhm.
out and do good and get, I mean, essentially a finish victory in another organization. Again, it's good. It's all good. So she's progressing
Oh, did
slowly.
it
I
finish?
wonder-
Did she get a finish?
Yes. Wait, hold on.
I I, I thought it
Uh,
went the distance. Was it a
did
finish?
it? It
I
was,
don't
yeah,
remember.
for the second round punches. That was a KO
Okay.
against
Okay.
Courtney King.
Yeah, I remember there being a lot of blood, but uh, it wasn't. I wasn't. I wasn't impressed. Like, person she was fighting should have been out of there in the first round within two, three
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, but again, the thing about it, okay, if she's the champion of PFL, right? I'm looking at it as a promoter standpoint, right? So if you do the season and she's already the champion, right?
Mhm.
She's probably, I mean, a whole season has to pass before the person who begins the seed ends up fighting the champion, right? So you don't want somebody, especially with the pedigree and the amount that you're paying her, to sit out for a year, probably a year and a half because of COVID, right? So you lend her out to Invicta,
Mhm.
right, to get more eyes on her, right?
Mhm.
The thing about it is,
Mhm.
I'm sure she didn't want to imply any judo, right? She wanted to work on her hands. That's why she got that KO victory, because I'm sure that was the game plan. Mike Brown is not a slouch in one iota, right? He's managed and coached many champions in all of the MMA lexicon, right? In every organization that there is. So with that being said, I know that they're inefficient in the hands, and I think the reason why, yeah, take a little bumps, know how it feels to be there in the fight rather than just grabbing somebody's hips and sending them flying, right? So to me, I think it's an important tool in the evolution of her fight acumen. Look, she's 30, right? So if she's not in either Bellator or UFC within the next 3 years, then there's something wrong there. But the thing about it is, what is that next 3 years going to look like, right? And again, if you're going to have next 3 years before you hopefully will have a title shot in, not saying that PFL is a minor organization, but if you go to Bellator or the UFC or even one championship, right? What essentially will happen is what that 3 years looks like before you get to a perceivable title shot, right? You'll be 34,
Mhm.
35, right? And that's normal
Mhm.
people speak. But again, Kayla is an Olympic judo gold medalist. So she's been doing judo
Mhm.
since she was in diapers, right? So there's a lot of injuries that are there, right? So you've only got a finite window, right? So why not go with the best of the best, right? I mean, yes, you've got Jackson Wink, but Jackson Wink essentially they have Holly Holm and Karate Hottie, right? But again, Amanda Nunes and Jonjenchek, that's American top team. I'm taking my ass to Florida if I'm Kayla Harrison. And guess what? That's exactly what Kayla Harrison did. And she did that. I mean, it's a glorified exhibition letting her go to Invicta, right? To do what? Test out our hands. Because we already know what her fucking judo is going to do. But she wanted to fucking get out the hands. And I wouldn't be surprised if you asked Mike Brown what his strategy was to test Kayla on her hands. And that's essentially what she did.
Okay. Well, test. I hope they got everything that they were looking for, and I hope to see some improvements because I was truly disappointed. I was thinking, okay, this might be the next contender. You know what I mean? And then when I saw what she did with that low ranking fighter, I was extremely disappointed. I was expecting her to go in there and just dispatch of this person immediately. Within 2 minutes, done. Done. But then, I guess what you said could have been a possibility, trying to establish the hand. But then it didn't work out like they planned. And the takedown was initiated. Elbows were thrown, which cut the opponent, and then punches were thrown. It wasn't even it was more the blood that was that expedited the stoppage than anything. She wasn't imposing. She wasn't. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess she is young to the game, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, speaking of marketability and shit in the future, just announced as we are live here at Video in the Woods within the last hour. Big news. Big fucking news. Floyd Mayweather announces he will fight Logan Paul in February.
Hey, man, I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight. I want to see Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Yes, I do. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I know those two boys, Jake and Logan. I see how hard they work. This might be a publicity stunt, but it's a publicity stunt that's taken seriously because their lives are on the line. They're getting in there with real life murderers, and they are expecting to walk out of that square circle at the end of it. Um, is Floyd Mayweather gonna knock this guy out? Possibly not. But is Floyd gonna toe tag this fella? Possibly yes. Does the fella have a knockout opportunity? Yes, but it's 0.0000095%. But nonetheless, there is an opportunity, and this is why people will tune in because the kid is a big kid, and he does have an opportunity to knock someone out because he is strong enough. But he is going against the modern day greatest fighter of our time in Floyd Mayweather.
Yep.
Excellent defense. You know what I mean? It's gonna be interesting. People will tune in. Understand? Jake,
Oh yeah.
Jake Paul, right? Is it Jake or no,
Yeah.
Logan? Logan will bring the audience. He will. Floyd will bring the audience. Not to talk about Logan. Logan has millions of followers. They will tune in. They like this guy. They enjoy his antics. Uh, because of his brother Jake, I've actually tuned in a few times to see what's going on with these Paul brothers. Paul brothers, and I see where they, I see they earn their money the hard way. They earn their money the hard way. You know what I mean? And for them to be calling out real fighters, MMA fighters, I like it. I like it. It gives these fighters an opportunity to pat their pockets. Go ahead and make that money, man. Make that money. If the man is calling you out, go fight him. Go fight him. You are the combat athlete. You're going in there against a YouTuber. Go fight that dude. Why not?
Here's the thing, right? So, credit to Mike Bone of Mike Bone MMA on Twitter. But here is the pricing for this thing. There's actually 4 tiers of pay-per-view pricing for this. So if you get in right now, not later, right now, it is $24.99. But that is only for the first million people. Because after 1 million sold, it goes up to $39.99, right? And if you lose that opportunity, starting December 29th, it's $59.99, and February 11th, it will be $69.99. So again, this fight happening February 20th. So if you wait 9 days before, you're paying $70 for this. So
I love the psychology. I love the psychology. This is genius. They are putting the burden on the buyer. They're putting the burden on the buyer. You can't come up to me later on and say, "Hey man, this fight cost $69.99. Hey man, you had an opportunity to buy it 3-4 months ago. Why didn't you?" It really didn't cost $69.99. It was $20. You had an opportunity to you know what I mean? You didn't believe. It's your fault you didn't believe. If you believed, then you would have paid $20. But because of your lack of belief, now you're paying $70. This is genius marketing, man. Beautiful. I wonder whose idea this was. Whoever this idea is, must be given respect, must be given their prop. It's a good chance this is that Logan kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna be one of the 1 million. I'm gonna get in now. $25. We'll see what the fuck happens.
Get it right now. Get it right now. Floyd is like, just give me my 50 million and we're good.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean,
I wonder what his pay is. I wonder what his pay is gonna be.
We will see, depending on where this happens, right? Because well, it's an exhibition, so we won't know what. I mean, usually with the fights, essentially what happens is the athletic commission will basically dole out the Monday after the fight how much each person got paid and the medical suspensions, but it's an exhibition fight, so it works a little bit different. Theoretically speaking, for the Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson fight, they didn't have to disclose any earnings, but they did, and they got rewarded pretty handsomely. So there's that. So we will fucking see, but I think we've seen it before, right? We've seen this very fucking thing before, right? Fucking Bart Gunn versus Butterbean at WrestleMania. That's exactly what this shit is gonna be, right? I mean, Bart Gunn might have been the fucking toughest on the fucking Brawl for All. That was supposed to launch Dr. Death Steve Williams, and fucking Godfather was supposed to be it. Fuck, even JBL Bradshaw was supposed to do it, and nope, fucking Bart Gunn, not Billy. Bart Gunn is the one who fucking knocked out everybody. And then they're like, okay, Butterbean, WrestleMania. And he got knocked the fuck out. So again, we've seen this before. But I said it once before, but it bears repeating. If you don't know how this shit is going to go, here we go. So that's how it goes. That's sometimes it means like that, and it will be that February 20th. There you go. So again, thank you
Hey,
guys for joining us for a wonderful edition of Voodoo in the Woods. Voodoo, what were you saying?
it gets nutty in the crevices, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
It
Shout out to
does.
Nate
It
Robinson,
fucking
man.
does.
I hope he's all right.
Fucking, he's in the shadow realm with fucking old Matt Wyman and shit like that. They fucking stepped into the abyss. You know, they need the fucking ghost of Pat Patterson to fucking get them out of the damn casket, a la fucking Undertaker and Ultimate Warrior. With the fucking Tony Garea and fucking Blackjack Lanza and shit like that, they fucking etch you out of the fucking thing. Fuck Nate Robinson, sir. He's a 2.6 million fucking followers on Instagram and shit like that. You know, fuck, man. Again, you're a professional athlete.
Hey,
You know what the fuck is supposed to be up, and you came with that bullshit. So fuck Nate Robinson, sir.
hey, Nate Robinson hit a trap card and was sent to the shadow realm.
Yeah. Again. And hopefully he got greeted by my Undertaker. But
he probably saw
Abashanga? The ghost of Saba oh, shit. Oh. Oh. But wherever you are, Nate Robinson, you are the opposite of Nation of Domination. It's you got knocked out by the Caucasian sensation. My goodness, this is Christ. Anyway, but
hey,
I played it again.
Hey, that dude said that. Hey man, I don't know what he was thinking, man. Not all money is good money, but if he was broke, if he was dead broke, and he had to pay that mortgage, then I understand. That's the smartest move he ever made. You know what I mean? If he had to pay that mortgage, or he had to make that car payment, whatever payment, child support, and taking that fight was the only thing he could do, that is the smartest thing he ever did. I'll take that knockout too. You know what I mean? To make my child support or whatever. But
you need to fucking call
Hanach, money,
Uncle Hanach.
you
need to call
if he didn't need
Uncle
the money,
Hanach to get to get out of that child support. I might be related to him, so fuck, I'll call him. Yo, how do you get Nate Robinson out of the child support? He'll probably tell me fruits and vegetables and the rest of the O's, but whatever. But shit, man.
Hey, if that was his ego, then he got what was coming to him. But
yeah,
I'm praying and hoping that he needed money, and that's why he took that fight. Because nothing else makes sense.
You hope that motherfucker broke?
I mean, because why else would he take that fight? He must have been broke.
For the whopping $600. For the whopping $600 that he got paid.
Yeah, but then he got bonus. He got points on the pay-per-view though, so I'm sure he got points on pay-per-view.
Okay.
Yeah, like all them dudes got points on the pay-per-view. All of them.
Let's see. How many Nate
that's
Robinson?
That's what Jake was talking about.
Net worth. So we're going to the net worth, and allegedly, Nate Robinson is worth $15 million. Yeah.
50. He must have needed to pay tax on something, man.
$15 million.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense for him to take that fight when you have net worth of 15 million. Why would you take a fight like that against a young buck that's been training boxing for at least 3 to 5 years, and you're walking off some basketball court and Where is he? Who did he play for? New York or something like that?
He played for
The
19.
Spurs? Didn't he play
He
for
was
19? I'm sure he played for the Spurs.
yeah,
The
Chicago
Bulls. He played
Bulls,
for the Bulls.
the Nuggets.
The New York
Uh,
Knicks or something.
his dad's name is Jackie Robinson, but it's spelled
Oh,
Jacque. Jackie Robinson
okay.
is his dad.
Jean-Jacques, Jacques,
Jacquees Robinson. That's
Jacques
your daddy.
Robinson.
Jacquees. Jacquees. My goodness.
Jacques.
But yeah, shit. I mean, it's all going fucking down
Hey man,
wherever the fuck.
hey look, if that was his ego that got him in that boxing ring, then he got what was coming to him. You know what I mean? He got what was coming to him because at that age, ego should not be your main driver.
Nope.
He's too
No,
old. He's
man.
too old to be fighting these youngsters for ego. For ego, nah, man, not worth it.
Not worth it at all. But one thing that is worth it is Voodoo in the Woods. Literally every Sunday after fights and Thursday before fights, we bring live fucking shit to your video and TV screens. But thank you guys for watching, and we warmly encourage you to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to Voodoo in the Woods both on Facebook and YouTube. But for those who haven't already done so, where can they find you, Voodoo Maximus, on social media? And I'm including the shot.
Well, you can find Voodoo Maximus on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, and that other one, Periscope. That's where you can find Voodoo Maximus. And same place, you can go same way. According to Woods, he's right there waiting for you. Like, share, subscribe. Let's go. Yeah, it's been a great day. We had an awesome time with you guys. Tune in again next Thursday. We'll be here ready to get it done again. You know what I'm saying? Figueredo is coming next week against Brandon. Brandon Moreno, I believe his name is. This is going to be
Yep.
epic pay-per-view. Epic of
Epic.
epic proportion. It's going to be
Yes.
of epic proportion. And we'll be here.
So
break.
we will get
down.
your hell yes. So this has been Voodoo in the Woods with Voodoo Maximus, according to Woods.